Welcome back to Her Shift, the podcast, which is all about rewriting our old stories, shifting deep beliefs, and becoming the woman you were always meant to be. Because let's be honest, you deserve a goddamn happier life. I am your host, Anna, and I'm just going to say thank you for all the love from last week. The episode was with author Heather Hendry, and we were talking periods, PMDD, being a woman. We're having a really good, just girly chat, and it went down really well. And the best bit is I've got a new friend. I'm loving Heather, and I'm loving her vibe, and I love her honesty, and I always love meeting a fellow PMDD chick and someone who's lived it and survived it and then has been brave enough to talk about it. I love that vibe, and it seems so many of you did too. So thank you so much for that. We will be having more of those chats in the future. It's Friday, I've got my coffee with me, and oh, please excuse me while I have a massive glug of it. If we're talking about cyclical living, I'm not on my follicular fire week. But I am going to get very honest and into it now. I've got this new theory, this new concept that I want to talk about, which has been such a shift for me to understand, that it's got me excited, it's got me nervous. And I tell you what, when you shift a belief that is so ingrained in you, and this one is a complete paradox, wait until I tell you, that your body goes, hell no. Like your brain goes, I am blocking that. And as I mentioned last week, I've had a few of my PMDD symptoms have come up, and I'm thinking that might be in almost body retaliation, going into safety mode, going, this is not safe. What on earth are you trying to do? Let me explain. So this theory, and I don't think I've invented it, it's just what I'm going to call it, is called the Golden Goose Theory. And it's based on, it would have been a child story, a fable, I guess, of a golden goose that laid golden eggs. The golden goose only laid, though, one golden egg a day, which is amazing, right? And at first it was. But before long, the owners of the golden goose became impatient. They wanted more. They wanted more golden eggs. They were greedy. More. And no matter what they did, and they fattened up the goose, they couldn't get the goose to lay more eggs. So, in their impatience, this is a fable, they killed the goose and they cut it open, expecting it to be full of golden eggs. And of course it wasn't. And then the goose was deceased, gone. No more golden eggs for them. So effectively, they killed their golden goose. So how do we take that into a theory? Oh, I'm glad you asked. Bear with me on this one. Let me look at my notes. I'm going to explain this one. So if you look at yourself as the golden goose, you're your own golden goose, right? And you can only do so much. And you have the skills and you have the ability to produce your own golden eggs sometimes, hopefully, if you're lucky. This is where I was at. I told myself, so I have to do pretty much everything at home. I have to do everything as a parent. I have to do everything on the home front. And I have to do everything at work. So I'm self-employed and I have a few businesses and I have to do every aspect. Over the years, I have brought people to freelancing for me for the odd task that I've really struggled with. Particularly when you're starting up a podcast, there aren't many people that are in the position, like Meghan Markle, who can just throw a ton of money at something and, get the best software, the best editing, a team of people to do everything for you. So most people starting out, they do everything themselves. And I feel very accomplished when I learn something. I really, really do. I also feel incredibly drained. So I always said that I would get to a certain point with my businesses and then I would obviously outsource and then I would pay other people to do the things that I didn't enjoy doing or they could do a lot better and a lot quicker than me. And I've been putting that off for quite some time. And this has also happened around the house. So I always said that I'll get to a certain point and then I'll get a lot more help around the house. I really like having a tidy, clean, uncluttered home. It really helps my mental health to do that. But over the years, I have had the odd bit of help. I did try having a cleaner, but it just I wasn't happy with it, let's just say. And I just said I'll get to a certain point and I will definitely get help around the house because that will just, yeah, it would really, it's not that I certainly know that I can clean and I used to be a cleaner in a past life. And it's not that I hate it, but again, it's a case of after I've done the entire house to a standard that I like, I then am a little bit well burnt out and I don't feel like I want to do whatever I was planning on doing because I'm just too tired. And I'm sure you can relate. So anyway, that was always my thing, was like you have to work really, really hard and do everything until you get to a certain point where then you can maybe get some help to do it, whether it's paid help or you ask other people to help you. And I think that's a really common thing we have as women. Part of my realization with this Golden Goose Theory has been over the last few weeks that not only have I been putting it off and putting it off and putting it off, I've also been at the point where I've done more and more and more. So if I've had success in one area, I thought, okay, well, I'll just do more of that. And that really should have been the point where I actually got someone to help me do it. But I'll do more myself because then I'll have more success. And I started to realize that actually, if you look at it from measurable ways like data and stats, actually the hours that I put in have not caused an incline in success, in followers, in growth, in profits. They have not correlated. So I'm like, oh right. So that's been a little bit disheartening. And I've also realised on a personal level, like I just said, right around the house, if I clean the house, I do all the housework, I plan, I schedule, I do all the appointments, I get the kids sorted, absolutely everything. And at the end of that, I'm always thinking, right, then I'm going to sit down, I'm going to do something I enjoy. And for me, I'm very creative. I like to do, a long time ago, I would like to do painting, crafting, even just watching trash TV with some chocolate, something like that. Or go to the gym and do a class, or go to the spa. Just do something to look forward to at the end of it. And I have to say, recently, after everything is said and done around the house, I've just not been in the mood. And that includes sitting down and watching trash TV because my brain is so frazzled. I can't even enjoy it. I'm just at the point where I just want to sleep. Or I just want to rest. I know resting doesn't always involve sleeping, but I can't take on, my bandwidth is just completely gone. And what I found with work is the work I do is because ultimately I really, really enjoy it. I really enjoy it. I love creating and helping. That was to help people who've been in a similar position to myself. I do my best work when I'm in a state of flow, and I'm in a state of ease, when I've got energy, when I'm feeling really creative. If I have to get the house in order, if I have to have done every other aspect of my business first, so all my social media, all my emails, all my admin, everything, absolutely everything, my tax returns, everything like that. And then I sit down to, say, record a podcast, it's not going to be as good. It's not going to be as good because I've just burnt so much of that ease and flow and that creative energy. It's gone somewhere else, and it's to exact the life force out of me. For some people, they might call this their feminine energy, which is all about ease and receiving, giving yourself grace. I have not had any of that, and I've been in survival mode and I've been in masculine energy for so long that I now struggle to tap into that ease and flow and creativity. I really reminded myself that as children we do usually tend to have a lot of things done for us, whether it's our washing, we have our tea made for us, whether it's good energy or bad energy in the house they live in, there does tend to be things done for you, which then means the things you care about as a child are usually about having fun, right? So that's what we do. We're more likely to have fun as a kid because all that other shit is done for us. Not always the case, but usually. And as adults, we don't have any time for fun. We don't have any time for joy. And then we wonder why we get depression, and we wonder why we're burnt out, and we wonder why our PMDD is off the chart. I am getting somewhere with this, trust me. Okay, so back to the Golden Goose. It occurred to me recently when I was talking about cyclical living, and I said, particularly so my follicular phase and my ovulation phase, there has been times in the past that I have set up whole businesses, that I have ticked every box, where I have done, I am not even kidding, that if you put me in an office and said, this is your schedule for the next 2 weeks, I could have done that in a day. And I remember thinking at the time, oh God, that's so braggy, that's so arrogant, but I absolutely, yeah. And then again, if you give me 1 day's technically work that would have been from, an office, and you say you've got, to do that in 1 day, it would have taken me 2 weeks if I was in, say, my luteal phase. I think we can all understand that. Sometimes I'm just not feeling it, and it's like, dragging yourself uphill and walking through mud. Yeah? But I hung on to this whole, actually, sometimes I am so good. I am so good. Imagine if I could take that feeling, that flow, that ease, and bottle it. And imagine if I could scale that. And what would it take for me to do that? Now, as I've talked about in the past, in order to have the life we want, we need to know what we want life to be like. So we don't want to suffer anymore. We don't want to have depression. We don't want to have PMDD. What does that look like for us? Because for some people, it's, I just want to be happy. Okay, but what does that mean for you? What would that mean? Now, this next point I'm going to make pushed my brain so much, I think it might have short-circuited over the last few weeks, because I had to be really, really brutally honest. And I'm going to be saying I am feeling a little bit vulnerable sharing it on here. So, someone's saying to you, what would you like your working week, month to look like? Really, what would it be like? If you were a little girl and you were to go play grown up, what would that be? Okay? And for me, it would be feeling in that state of creativity, of that flow, of that excitement, of wanting to create really helpful content, digital products, podcasting, public speaking, talking with people to grow our community and build the PMDD awareness campaign. And that would be it. And I'm going to be really truthful, and this feels really weird to say, a few hours a week doing that, if I'm quite honest. Because if I was in that state of ease and flow and creativity, that is all it would take. And then after I've done my podcast, or I've created this amazing idea and I've given direction on what the final result would be, pass it off to someone else to record my podcast, someone else edit it, publish it, someone else take care of my entire social media, someone else run my diary, make my appointments, just take away all those things that absolutely deplete me and effectively kill my golden goose. Because that is what I've been doing. I've been strangling the life out of my golden goose. That's what I've been doing. So the golden eggs that I've been laying, they haven't been that golden. I wouldn't say they've been battery produced, but maybe organic, maybe free range, but certainly not golden. And it felt so weird to declare that. It's like, are you effectively saying you want to be a lady of leisure, a Stepford wife? I'm like, no. But I really want to enjoy my life. I don't want to work my ass off anymore for limited results. I've realised the link between when someone does something for me. So when I walk into it's been a long time since this happened. When I walk into a really clean house and my dinner has been made for me, oh my God, the mood that would put me in. Like the bins have been taken out, a wash load's been put on. I could sit down and I could create something amazing because my bandwidth would just be full. Like you would have plumped your golden goose. And that's what I'm going to talk about now. How do you plump your golden goose? You've got to feed it. You've got to nurture it. Got to get you into that state of creativity and flow. Now, in business, that means you have to outsource before you're ready. Certainly before you're financially ready. You've got to, speculate to accumulate. And that's very scary, particularly as women. I'd say that we're more risk averse than men. And it can be, again, really hard to think, I just want to earn this amount, or I want to get to this level of success, and then I will do it. Because then I'll feel safe to do it. Where actually someone's saying, if you take the jump now and you pay for help now, your success, your growth, your profits will grow tenfold. It's just a scary concept, isn't it? Because it's doing backwards. And then around the home as well. I'm not saying everyone's in a position, of course, right, of course everyone wants a cleaner, right? Everyone wants help. Not always practical. And I know as women, to ask for help, that is the hardest thing. And that is, again, why this has been such a paradox for me. It's like saying, that thing you hate doing, asking for help, because you think it makes you look weak, you think it makes you look lazy. You need to do that. You need to ask for help now. You need to free up that bandwidth, and you need to plump that golden goose so you can churn out more amazingness and be that woman who has that life that impacts her and everyone around her into a goddamn more amazing life. I honestly think my symptoms went through the roof when I was telling myself this. It's like, hang on a minute, we've got to reverse engineer this. To get myself into the best mode possible, to produce the most helpful, amazing golden eggs, I have to relinquish control now. I have to ask for help now. I have to maybe pay for help now. And I know there'll be so many of you out there that have worked and worked and worked and pushed and pushed and pushed and been in your masculine energy for so long. The idea of it just is, it's like talking about unicorns. It's just mad. It's madness. So after this idea, though, this concept, this theory sunk in for about 2 weeks, and God, it took some doing. And I spoke to my lobster about it as well. And I was a bit tentative telling him, because again, it just comes across as like, oh, by the way, babe, I want to be a lady of leisure. I want to do less, I really want to do less and do more for myself. And yeah, I know like you go out to work every day and you do like 60, 80-hour weeks, but yeah, I want to do even less hours. Is that okay with you? But him being my lobster totally understood it and really, really liked the idea that it's more about capitalizing and scaling and going into my feminine energy and creating these amazing golden eggs, as the golden goose would, because I am being supported in so many other ways. I'm just thinking about that, and something that I really appreciate in him as a partner. So we are very different, but we do understand each other very, very well. I'm not into this whole female male version of themselves. We get couples where I go, oh my God, he's just the male version of her. For me, that just would never work. It would never work. And we are very, very different, but we are very much on the same page. And he understands when I'm at my best, and he understands feminine and masculine energy. He understands the differences between men and women, and I really, really appreciate that in him. And something he said recently, he knows when it's important, because obviously men and women have both energies. And it tends to be, not always, but women do tend to have more feminine energy and men more masculine energy, but not always. But they do step into both energies, if that makes sense. I was having to make a phone call to school, to my child's school, to sort something out, which involved, it was a very practical, logistical conversation, and it had to be very point driven and almost quite corporate, if that makes sense. And I was going through it with him before I made the phone call. And I remember he said to me at the time, right, go and make the phone call and you need to step into man mode. And by that, he didn't mean like, you know, like balls up and that sort of thing. He didn't mean, he just meant like you need to step away from your ease and your flow, and you need to step away from that softness right now, and you need to step into like man mode of being practical, logistical, point driven, and not get too emotionally involved in the conversation. And I really appreciate him seeing that in me, and I really appreciate him saying that to me because it's what I needed to hear in that time. And from that, it's made me realize that actually, far from feeling guilty about this life that I would like and how I would want to be and have my time freed up and for the things that I do to be more creative, enjoyable, actually, I know that all these years, I have more than proved that I can do a lot of hours, a lot of work, a lot of shit. I can do it. And that's the old saying, is that just because you can doesn't mean you should. It's got you to a certain point, and oh my god, there's been times when I am so thankful for it. I really, really am. Oh my god, like this whole masculine survival mode that I have been in so much. I mean, I know it's there in my arsenal. Should I need it again? And I probably will. I can step into it. You know, if I build this business that I want with a team and help and all this, and it all goes wrong, yep, I've been there. I know what to do. You know, if I hire a social media manager and they disappear, I could pick up the reins tomorrow and I could do it. Okay. But I also know, and if I have to do it, I will. But now's a time when I'm going to try something else. And that is simply what it is. What I'm going to look at this differently. I'm going to try something different. And again, when I think about how I'd like my life to be, and this is what I encourage you to think about too, is the relationships I have with my friends, my children, my partner. How do I want them to be? And I want them to be what the best version of me. I want to really help them and support them. You know, an interaction with me wouldn't be like, oh God, I've got to talk to Anna. It'd be more like someone to look forward to. I want time with friends where we all walk away feeling energized and connected. I want the time spent with my lobster to be special and have meaning, and again just go, you know what, we maybe don't get to see each other as much as we would like to, but the time we do spend together is really, really quality, and we don't take each other for granted. I want to be more present and engaged with my children. And I know, like, you know, it sounds like, oh, I'm talking about a fairy tale here. We all want that, and I want it too. And at the minute, I'm going to try something new that might just work. My intuition, my feminine energy is telling me that. At home, I would like some more help. And I would love to pack even more into my self-care, and certainly without feeling guilty. I worked with a coach once that actually said that every time she gets her hair blown out, she makes money. And now it totally makes sense because well, not just her, us as women, I know, like having your hair done, you know, and you're walking out the salon, just, oh, you feel amazing, right? And then you can take that into your work, your home life. Can you imagine you walk through the door and whatever's going on, if your hair looks fucking insane, you are going to feel so much better and you're going to tackle it head on. It's almost like putting your war paint on and having your hair done or wearing a certain sort of outfit before tackling something or doing something big. You can certainly handle it, right? So yeah, the idea that I would say, give myself, well, I do look after myself, as I've previously spoken about, but I want to give myself more, because when I do that, I create a better version of myself. It takes me more to the woman I want to be, more the woman I'm becoming. And then the knock-on effect is I have a better energy in my home. I have better connections with my friends and my family and my children. When I show up like that at work, it's going to be, the quality of my work is going to be better. I'm going to feel more confident on camera. And I've just listed a few things that I would like to do in terms of my own self-love, my own self-care. And I'm just going to share it with you. And you can tell me to get in the bin, but this is what I would like. This is what we're going to aim for. I would like my hair blown out twice a week. I would like a haircut every month. I would like a fresh colour every 6 weeks. I would like my nails done every 2 weeks. My brows every 6. I'd like a facial every fortnight, a massage every week. Oh my god, that puts me in a good mood. I want multiple orgasms daily, either self-made or otherwise. I would like a fake tan every 10 days, a pedicure every month, because let's face it, our toenails can go the distance. And I would like 3 gym workout sessions a week. I don't think that's a lot to ask for. Actually, you know what I do? My brain's going, are you fucking kidding me? You can't ask for that. I'm gonna. I put it out there, I put it to the universe, and I put it on my notes page. That is what I would like. And I think having all that as my standard would create the plumpest, fattest goose that would create the most amazing golden eggs. So there we go. Oh god, my brain is hurting from saying that. It's going, everything you're talking about, you've done the opposite all your life. You've taught, I've grown up thinking there's no success without suffering. You don't get anywhere in life without really hard work. The sort of life that you want, you have to work like a man and think like a man and work in a male environment. If you get help around the house, you're just showing that you're not, the woman that you should be. And it's only weak women that have to ask for help. It's such a paradox, and it's blowing my brain. But I do find that the more I'm going to put this out there, the more I talk about it and the more I share it with my friends and everyone on here, maybe a little step closer to getting what I want. So that is my golden goose theory. You're the golden goose. Think about the quality of the eggs you are laying, because you all have the capacity, we all do, to lay amazing golden eggs. What quality are they now? What would you like them to be? And what is the one thing you can do right now? What's something that and I don't mean, is there anything you really, really despise doing that you could either do differently, get someone else to do for you, or someone to help you with? Is there anything like that in your life? So for me, I've mentioned this before, I don't do ironing, and I don't think I ever will. There's loads of reasons, there's a whole backstory behind that, but it actually makes me really, really unhappy. So I don't do it. And I found ways and means of getting around that. I probably should get someone to do the ironing, but to be honest, at the moment, I'm just happy with a really decent tumble dryer, loads of fabric softener, and folding as soon as it comes out the dry. There we go. Is there anything that you could get help with, outsource, or just not do right now because it impacts you so much? I'm going to put down for the week ahead, this is something I'm going to tackle head on. So I would love to outsource so much of my businesses, but let's start small. One of the things that is really necessary, but one of the things that absolutely drains me, it's not like I don't like doing it, but it does drain me, is social media. So it's like I love coming up with the ideas, I like the creativity, and I love helping people with the content. But actually creating TikToks, reels, posts, keeping up to date with the tech, all that side of things. Yes, I can do it, but it doesn't plump my golden goose. It absolutely drains me, to the point where what I've had to do with the podcast is I record, and while I'm still on that wave of, oh, that was good, then that's when I knock out my social media for it. Because if I leave it, or if I do my social media first, I then can't record an episode because I'm that depleted from it. Again, I don't despise it. I don't really dislike it, but it does drain me. So it effectively kills my golden goose. So what I'm going to do over the next week, I'm going to look at ways and means that I can offload the social media side of things. I would love a social media manager. I don't know what the practicalities of that are right now. I am also looking, because I love a bit of AI software. I'm looking at maybe using some AI software to certainly help me with that, and then repurposing what I've already got. I'm not going to look at any other aspect of my business right now, just help with my social media. Any tips would be really appreciated. I know there's loads of you that have got so much experience in this. Maybe social media is your thing. If you want to help me, please message me. Any advice with that right now? Because you know when you're totally involved in something, you can't step out of it sometimes, and you can't see for what it really is, and it just feels like this massive cloud, not dark, but a cloud over me, which is kind of really holding me back. So that is going to be my thing. I'm going to look at getting help with my social media this week. And then with that, I'm going to invite you to think, what can you do this week? What is one thing you can do? Like I said, can you get rid of something? Can you get help with it? Can you outsource it? Can you do it differently? And by removing that or changing that, what will be the knock-on effect to you and the quality of your eggs that you are laying? Oh, I love an analogy. You know it. So fine. I hope that has been helpful. I hope that I've explained my Golden Goose Theory. I'm definitely not in my follicular fire week. Stardust says that I'm 5 days away from D-Day, so I'm very much in the luteal phase. I think the tone of my voice changes actually when I'm in this phase. But yeah, I hope that has been helpful. Let me know what things that you are fed up with doing or would change or you would do differently, and any ideas that you have for doing that. That would be amazing. I'm also going to ask, and I always say this, I can only grow this platform and this community with your help. So if you could rate, review, subscribe, share, and do all that shit for me. Oh, thank you. I would love you so much for that. It really does make a difference and it really, really does help. In the meantime, I'm just going to say, please, please, please keep going. You are doing amazing. You are stronger than you think. You are awesome. Sending all my love.